Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is time for the final match of the Friday evening of LCO. And look, it's going to be hard for Peace and DW to make this look like a good affair, only because Legacy and Order is a very tough act to follow.
Was it? I think you might have your teams a little bit mixed.
What? I was like, is this a skip?
Yeah, I thought maybe the burrito was a little bit too good. Maybe the burrito hit different, but
Gravitas Order, yeah, absolute banger. As I said before, right before going into the break, Gravitas, it really looked to me like they'd leveled up from where they were a couple of weeks ago. They showcased that, hey, we can do it, Mac. I've got you, bro. It's okay. We're gonna sort this little situation out back here. But for me, I think there's a lot of positives that Gravitas can draw from this one. They fell just ever so slightly at the final hurdle, but you sharpen that one up, and Bob's your uncle.
Okay, so I know the issue. I used the same page for my notes for the Legacy Chiefs game as well as the Order Gravitas game because I was running around on the street outside trying to find my dinner. So because I wrote it quickly before the break, I just glanced over and I saw Legacy. I was like, and it wrote, and then I read and I didn't think. The brain power, you know, something I've been telling you I don't have a lot of. I'm running out of it, or I'm running out of it. But look, I did get my food eventually. Anyway, it is a tough act to follow, no matter who bloody played before. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm not going to say names because I'll get it wrong no matter what. Peace and Direwolves, though, it's going to be a banger matchup. Peace, let's talk them first. Jubes, tell me, why do you love Peace? And why is Violet so damn good at farming in that bot lane?
First things first, love Peace because they sent me a shirt, but nah, I just, all jokes aside, API has been a very solid player for this team. Appy, rather, you know, he's formed his identity in being the bruiser tank player. He allows Kevy, Halo, and even Violet and Aladurek to play the champions that they want to play. And we talk about Biopanther being, you know, that player for Pentanet. Well, Appy is that for Peace. And he gives his team a lot of flexibility in draft to draft things like the Hecarim, draft things like the Nidalee, the Graves, or, you know, whatever they're feeling. And Kevy as a player is the type of player that wants the carries. He wants the champs that do damage. And, you know, in terms of an identity, I think this is a very good mix, very good fit. And this is why Peace are just so deadly.
Yeah, I mean, I think you raised a really good point there about the highlight on towards Appy. I think Biopanther and Appy right now are the best top laners in the league, and same could be said between Predator and Violet. So there's definitely key areas where Peace can excel in. I think they're really finding fun and success in being able to flex in their junglers as they see fit. And as you sort of touched on before, right, there isn't Lisa today, it's Kevy. And Kevy was announced to be playing for the Direwolves, then went to the Peace at the final hour. And I think this, if I was to be a tin hat conspiracy theory, you know, whatever you want to call it, right, I would imagine this is a game of Kevy saying, sub me in, coach, I want to win.
I think it's going to be a very good rivalry going forward just because of this. And look, we have to talk about the other side of the rift quickly because we're running back behind on time. That last thriller went for very, very long. Now, Direwolves, let's have a look here. What do we got? Shock Only, Claire Gunkrab, and Cupcake. Juves, who's your favorite player on this roster? I know you love to pick favorites.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it'd be Only, and it sets up the narrative, right, of, yeah, we talk about Kevy in this game wanting to prove Direwolves wrong, but I think Only obviously wants to prove the person wrong that he not replaced, but he was going to share time with, or whatever the scenario was at Direwolves. So, you know, this week, and it's fitting that we have this highlight, Only had an absolute blinder against the Chiefs, and it's what we expected from him. It's what we expected from Direwolves coming into the split, and I think he's the catalyst, and he's going to be, you know, the most important player to the success of Direwolves tonight, obviously as well as Shock, but, you know, for me, it's Only to have the spotlight on.
I think if mid-jungle gets ahead here for Direwolves, they're in such a strong position. I don't think anyone can realistically contest Shock right now. He's been stomping, I would quite confidently say, a lot of these mid laners in laning phase. He admitted himself in the interview that, hey, maybe my team fighting can improve a little bit, but if you have those core fundamentals, you pair that with Only in his presence in the jungle, you know, I feel like they set themselves up for such a good standing in going into those team fights where objectives and all the rest of it come into play.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to have a damn good time with this game. And look, let's bring Nat in as well to hear from the players before we get into the action. Nat, who's on the side lanes with you?
I have Halo from Peace and Cupcake from Direwolves. Thank you both for joining me. Halo, I want to ask you first, how are you feeling and what are your goals coming into the second round robin for Peace?
I'm fine. I was a bit sad last match, but my goals are to win every game, obviously, or just improve really. Just make playoffs in a good spot, and yeah, I don't think winning in individual games matters. Just improvement.
And what about you, Cupcake? How are you guys feeling over at Dire Wolves, and what are you hoping to be sitting at the end of the second round robin?
I would probably echo a similar sentiment in that we're just trying to improve week by week, game by game, and we're not looking at the standings too much. Obviously, we had a rough start and we have a little bit of a better win ratio now, but yeah, we're just trying to take it game by game and yeah, just improve as a team.
What would you say has been the biggest area of improvement for Dire Wolves from the start of the split?
I would say kind of finding our identity and giving player a bit of time to get used to the role swap. I think we were a bit all over the place with drafts and trying to find the comp that sort of suits our players the best. But yeah, we've kind of gotten a better idea of how we want to play the game, and Brandon, player, he's been popping off a lot more recently, so that's been really helpful as well.
And Halo over at Peace, what do you guys think has been like such a big improvement? You know, you talk about how you want, you know, you're only going to focus on the team growth sort of thing. So what has been that big growth for you guys?
Well, we only just lost to Pentanet, so nothing tangible yet, but discussion has started about our problems at least, and I guess this Dire Wolves game we'll see how we go with that discussion that started. So yeah, we'll see how we go, I guess.
Is that maybe a factor that played into why you guys are subbing Kevy into this game?
Not really. I think we just want Kevy to have as many games as possible before playoffs, and obviously, like, I think he's really good. So we have two really good junglers, so they learn off each other, and yeah, there's just nothing but benefit from having Kevy.
That is very true. I mean, to be able to interchange two junglers like you guys do. But lastly, Cupcake, I want to ask, you know, Kevy was announced to be on Dire Wolves before the split started, and now he's over at Peace. Now you guys are coming up against him. Is there a little bit more pressure? Are you a little bit more worried? Does this make the win mean more for you guys?
I wouldn't say necessarily. I've honestly been enjoying seeing him pop off and seem to fit well into Peace. And I mean, there was a lot of shit going on behind the scenes, and I'm just glad that we can. It seems that he's found a better place, and I'm just keen to take it to the Rift, and no hard feelings or anything.
Oh, that's really good to hear. Thank you both so much for joining me. Good luck with the game, and we'll see how it plays out.
Thanks.
Look, sick and tired of these humble players ruining our storylines. It was supposed to be a crazy battle of egos, and now it's just like, oh no, look, we're all friends here. It's
You
fine.
just
He
want
must have been prepped for that question. Hey, he must have known it was coming, and everyone's like saying, don't do anything stupid. It's all good. Just win and then talk. I don't know.
Yeah, we're all just like waiting for Cupcake to come in, and he's like, oh, this Kevy kid, you know, we just want to put him into the dirt. And he's just like, nah, you know, he's playing well and good
no
on him.
drama.
Well, let's see what we think is going to happen in this matchup, which is going to be a banger. And it looks like Skimmy and Jules both going for Dire Wolves here, with myself and Nat on the Peace bandwagon. So, first things first, one seat on the Peace hype train. You've lost it. Sorry.
I was going to say, I feel like I've become the honorary Peace kind of mascot, but the way I just see this game unfolding is that Dire Wolves have kind of found their groove. I think that Only is too good. I think Shock is too good. And, you know, the one kind of concerning thing I heard is that Peace are now starting to talk about their problems and now starting to fix their problems, as opposed to 6 weeks before, or like however many weeks before that, rather.
Yeah.
There was nothing to talk about. So I think, you know, sometimes losing can do something to a team. And so I just want to see how they react before I throw all my eggs into the Peace basket. I would still like to be on the platform of the train arriving. However, maybe my 1 foot's in the train, 1 foot's out. A little bit dangerous. Don't cross the yellow line. We'll have to wait and see.
Look, you're a daredevil if you do put 1 foot on both sides of the yellow line, all right? And don't go doing that because it's an OH&S issue. And look, us being here on the two-man desk, on two-man cast, is going to be a bit of an OH&S issue. So Nat and I are going to jump over to the side lanes, and we'll see you after the match.
Well, Juves, let's kick it off for the final game of the night, the final game of the week, and a banger at just that. It's a decider to open up things here to figure out really what the skill check was between these two teams that have been so hyped up going into another season of OS League of Legends. And with the current run of form with Dire Wolves, with them starting to fall into the role of understanding what they want to do, you start to wonder, will this be the time to hand Peace their second defeat?
Excuse me, I actually feel so bad that I picked Dire Wolves for some reason. I think it's
Where's
just
that?
because I like, you know what I mean? You know when someone's really nice to you and then they put a lot of faith in you and then now you've just disappointed them? That's how I
Maybe
feel
you're going to
like.
get some Dire Wolves merch in the mail tomorrow, mate. Maybe your allegiances just turn just like the wind.
Maybe I'm a mercenary and I can be more. But no, nevertheless, Thresh picked up the first pick from Dire Wolves, something that we've seen from them quite a bit now. Cupcake obviously very comfortable in that champion. And, you know, actually prior to the few losses that Dire Wolves have on their record, Bard was a very early pick for Cupcake. And Bard was something he was comfortable taking into the bot lane. So interesting to see that change up in champion pool. But I like the two pickups here from Peace. Kevy being very comfortable on that Hecarim. And honestly, a player that I would consider not giving the Hecarim to because he is quite, you know, good on those carry style champions. And Kai'Sa being picked up for Violet. I mean, how many Kai'Sa games has he had?
Yeah, I mean, what more could you ask for, right? You know, you got the Hecarim for that guaranteed ultimate angle to have a big high impact, potentially a drive by Baron Steel, but the same could be said there for the Jinx too, right? We've seen that Jinx, like Sever, these scaling champions that have come back into the fold of things that offer so much on so many different levels, right? Maybe not the strongest laning phase, but if we're talking about Baron Steels, I mean, Jinx can do the same too with her ultimate.
There's a lot of conversation around Jinx at the moment. How does Jinx fit in the meta? How good is Jinx? Jinx has quite a good laning phase. Like it's a bit of a misconception. Like she's weak early, but her laning phase is quite good. The problem is that there's a bit of a lull in power, if you will, if she doesn't get ahead. Like you need the two, three items to be relevant. But you know, in most games, she gets ahead, or you know, she gets to the 2-3 items. So why not just pick Jinx? Like the laning phase isn't bad at all. Especially into the Kai'Sa, she's not really going to have a rough time. So I don't mind the Jinx pickup. It's just whether or not Gunkrab can space himself from the Hecarim and not get obliterated.
Well, it would be interesting to see deciding how to play around that objective in mind. Worth noting that Halo has picked up the Orianna. Syndra's been banned away, and that's the pick that we saw in this last mid lane matchup. So Shock's going to have to choose something a little bit different here today, and Peace are targeting him in particular by banning away a fair few champions, right? Karma first and foremost, Zoe into an Azir, a clear understanding that Shock is a key carry, a key figure on this roster, key figure in that role more than anything when we're talking about best players in the scene so far. But then you fight respect with respect. Dire Wolves identifying that Aladoric is just absolutely insane as Rakan.
Yeah, but you know what I'm interested to see here? What does Shock pick up? I feels like that's a majority of his champion pool, at least what we've seen from him this year. He's not a melee range assassin player, or at least he hasn't made his name playing those champions.
Like
So
Victor, Lucian, like
yeah,
spring to mind, right?
it's the Victor angle here. You're right. I would love to see him rip out his Zillion. So for those of you that don't know, Shock is he's a storied Zillion player. I did hear him say, however, he thinks Zillion's really bad mid lane right now. So I'm not holding my breath. But I wouldn't be opposed to seeing the Zillion, you know, Zillion Jinx. Definitely a combination that I could get used to, or, you know, maybe they've tried out. Yeah, but it is the Victor, as you said. Again, nice little composition here out of the Dire Wolves, 5v5, and Peace opting in for much of the same, but it might be a little tricky for this Jinx to stay alive if left to her lonesome, right, with the backline threat of the Hecarim. Because Hecarim's ultimate creates that fear. And then Kai'Sa then gets backline access, right? It's almost like a free backline access for the Kai'Sa. And a lot of people think of Kai'Sa as the hyper carry, right? Kai'Sa is, but not in a traditional front-to-back sense. Yes, she can kill tanks. Yes, she has like the percent HP damage. But a lot of Kai'Sa's utility and where Kai'Sa's good comes from, she finds the window to then get onto the backline. Because she'll always win that fight. And so, you know, they do have a lot of tools for Violet in this game.
And we're willing to see that this is very much a dive composition, right? With that last pick on towards Kennen for Appy there to ensure that they can just dash and throw everything at you, press their R buttons and AoE you all down into oblivion. It's a very real threat, right? The fact is that Claire's response has been a Gnar. It's been his most successful champion to date since swapping to that role. He's not lost a single game from the 2 games played on that champion so far, so he'll have a big weight on his shoulders to try and disrupt this wombo combo that Peace have thrown their way.
And that's a player that I want to highlight, right? He's had some definite rough games, some definite rough weeks, and you know, sometimes even in their wins hasn't performed too well, and that's even to his own standard. He said that himself. So be interested to see how this top lane thing plays out, because the Ken and Na matchup, yeah, while it is a little bit of a snooze fest, bit of a farm fest, can become quite volatile. You know, you don't ever want to be the one to fall behind, and you know, Kennen gets that lead in lane, can be quite dangerous when it comes to the 5v5. So, you know, for me, that's where the question mark is. That's where I want to see Claire kind of stamp his authority on the game. I want to see him say, okay, I'm here, I'm on a comfort pick, and I'm ready to show the top laners in OSA, this is my role.
Yeah, and he wants to sort of form into that role that, hey, now bring me into the discussion as a top laner, much like you had me in that category when you're discussing, you know, some of the best mid laners, right? Exactly. So that raises my question there. He's definitely finding time being his best friend to, you know, get familiar and, you know, translate those mechanics from the mid wave into the top side. But, you know, based on what we've seen from this jungle mid matchup, do you think that either side has a clear advantage?
Yeah, look, if I'm being completely honest, the draft out of out of Peace rather, is something that I would be much more comfortable playing. Just in terms of ease of execution, right? In terms of being in our region and how I know the teams to play the game, the Peace composition definitely makes a lot more sense. Ease of execution, as I said. However, Olaf can get that tempo lead. Olaf can be a real bully in the early game. Has a lot of gank setup in the bot lane. The Jinx again has quite a decent lane, and if you manage to get a lead in really either bot lane or mid lane, they can run away with the game. We saw what Chaz was able to do on that Victor early on, and there is a lot of late game insurance on the side of Direwolf, so it's ultimately going to come down to Peace and what they can get done and what they can't versus Direwolves.
And that's what we're going to be looking to try and find out. What can these teams do? And no better to help us understand that than getting the inner workings of the Direwolves themselves. Straight from the coach of Farmer. Welcome once again, bro, onto the show as we figure out really where things are at coming into the second round, Robin. I mean, you guys have been in some pretty impressive form. I mentioned before that time may have just been your best friend because it's been 3 wins on the go now.
Yeah, life's pretty good. I think that our form is definitely looking up. Obviously, we're not complacent. Like, we know we have a lot to work on, a lot to improve, but we're pretty happy with our progress as it stands, yeah.
And you come into this one, obviously, knowing that Peace had been one of the hotly tipped favorites for the LCO. It was a very close game to open up your accounts in week number 1. You look back now, and you know, we're starting to see a lot of these teams level up. Do you feel like there's a clear definition or difference from, you know, the Direwolves then to the Direwolves we're now seeing?
Yeah, there's definitely a big jump in our play. I've been reviewing our previous matches on my 27-inch LG monitor, and honestly, I can say that yeah, I'm pretty happy with our performance recently, and yeah, and it's definitely a big step up. I think we've had a lot of problems early in the split that we had to go through, and now, yeah, we're just looking at optimizing, yeah.
Yeah, and no doubt the sponsors are happy with your performance as well. My next question would be, you come into this one, right, we start to talk about categories of, like, you know, who are the best in their roles, and the fact that Shock has been such a consistent go-to member right now for the Direwolves roster, even when things haven't been as, you know, going as well as you may have imagined. Is there extra pressure that these members have been, you know, finding put on themselves? Is it a case of, like, you know, trust the process, we know that we're good enough, we know what we can achieve?
Yeah, I mean, just touching on Shock, like, definitely best mid in OS, no questions there. And I think all the boys are just leaders in their roles, so I don't think the pressure, we really feel the pressure or the individuals feel the pressure. It's just about us coming together as a team the best way we can. Yeah, that's the main thing is just coming together and finding how we work best together.
Yeah, and it seems like you found that in the most recent form, right? Looking to try and capitalize on the fact that Peace may have had that humbling moment up against Pentanet.gg. I wish you the best. I'm excited to see how this one plays out. And Jubes, anything weird and wacky in the first few minutes?
Just full clears, some good trades in the bot side of the map. You know, Gunkrab having to burn through his pot. Kaiser still has hers, but Claire doing okay as well in this lane, managing to juke out some of the shuriken damage coming out of Appy. So just some skill checks here and there, seeing how your skill shots are. Are they landing? Do you have the fancy feet? And yeah, really not much. Just full clears from both junglers and pathing to opposite sides of the map as well. And my man's was too busy plugging sponsors. He actually forgot.
That's what I mean.
He actually forgot your question.
Look, I love interviewing Farmer. He always comes out with the bangers, right? If this guy's not getting paid overtime from these sponsors, I don't know what he's doing, hey?
Yeah, I mean, he comes with a plug, doesn't he? And one thing, Shock's got very big control of this mid lane. He's already burnt through all of the corrupting potions from Halo, and he's actually going to force a TP here. So what Shock will be able to do, he better get this wave in. Once he sees the teleport coming through from Halo, he'll actually be able to get like sort of a cheater recall off. But he's teleported on the wave, so scrap that.
Yep, going to freeze that minion, lock its HP bar in, as both junglers are in the area, but both going to take opposite sides of the river to guarantee a Scuttle Crab. What's worth noting, and this was with Lisa playing, is that there was a heavy emphasis on camping Halo and getting Shock ahead.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see if that is still the same game plan. We saw multiple attempts. The first one, where Halo just narrowly managed to survive with a clutch Syndra stun, but we saw them go mid at least 4 to 5 times and guarantee that, you know, Halo just really didn't have much impact.
Might be a flash play. Yep.
Yeah, it is indeed. You called it. The Dem Center's afterwards. Exhausted, destroyed. First blood for Direwolves.
Very nice, and it's actually very hard to get away from a flash play gank because the slow from the play really does make you easy pickings for the hook, and that is so big for the side of Direwolves, right? That's flash burnt out of Violet, still double summers on Gunkrab, and the wave itself too managed to hit under tower, and Violet loses that wave as well as the ensuing wave that's going to slow push back to Direwolves, and best case scenario, and what a start.
What a start indeed. Former teammates, both Gunkrab and Violet, sharing time on the Avant roster of old. And Gunkrab trying to one-up here Violet, who's been in some very impressive form on his most comfortable champion. I've got a lot of proficient Kaiser players here in the region, as do we have in the world, quite honestly. It's just an insane champion as a whole, but showcasing that, hey, we're going to maybe change up our game plan this time around and not put so much emphasis on mid lane, but guarantee that Gunkrab is the one to pop off, and Cupcake again, you know, maybe if I am a one trick, he's making it work here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what I talk about Jinx, right? It's not weak in lane and no flash from Cupcake, so this is the punish.
Certainly is the punish. He doesn't have any summoners whatsoever, burnt them all before. Hooks to the camp! He's received an ignite and might just die to the minions as well as Aladora to pick up the killing blow. Out come the TPs, 5 minutes and 40 seconds into this one. Forget the waves. We won a game. Out comes the Shockwave, connects onto Shock. He flashes away into the red buff. Gunkrab jumps in. Summoner's being burnt and Claire is popping. He's popping. He's just doing so much. Picks up a triple. Then has the shove. Give him it all. Good guy Claire donates a kill across to Jinx, and Peace, they threw everything against it, but Direwolves pick up so much more.
It's just the rotation from Jinx that ultimately saves that play, and I mean, it would look like a disaster for Direwolves, but Claire coming on through, getting the Mega in that team fight as well, and you know, if we had questions about Claire as the top laner, maybe they've been answered, and it's only 6 minutes into the game. Huge team fight coming out of him, and you know, that has to be a confidence booster, Skimmy.
No doubt about it, right? So early into this series, and I suppose it plays into what Farmer mentioned, right? You know, time has been great, and that we are finding our form, and that we are, you know, we're trusting the process, and that's what I'm always excited to hear on, you know, when you've got these high expectations of you, of players as a whole, when you start to think, you know, why isn't it going as it might you know, be expected? You see Cupcake here, get caught, get punished because he's, you know, out of position with the vision that Peace have. But in a bit of an overcommitment, perhaps, you know, the quicker rotations here from Direwolves.
Yeah, I mean, we always had this saying back in the day. It wasn't back in the day when I was a player. If you TP first, 9 times out of 10, the play is going to be in your favor. And Claire TP'd so much earlier than Appy in this play. And, you know, members are just falling down before he can even really have a team fight influence. And Claire again with the flash Mega into the wall. Halo still has flash, but no chance he's living it. He even gives the kill away to Gunkrab, you know. Some players to say, oh, quadra kill, I'll take that every day of the week. But passes off the kill to Jinx. So now you got a 2-0 Jinx, 3-0 Nara, and Direwolves with a 2,000 gold lead pretty much.
Yeah, shared economy in all the right places, right?
Yeah.
You have an insanely strong Nara that can jump in and make plays just like that with the Nara ult will guarantee success, will be the disrupting factor, and could be a game-changing moment. But the fact that Gunkrab's able to pick up a kill in the laning phase, then pick up a kill in that little skirmish around their Raptors, and then say, well, fantastic, you know, I'm going to go into this matchup now and continue laning with such a sizable item lead.
Yeah, and that is a very big item lead, right? You know, look at the double longsword and the dagger from Violet. Going to have a rough time in this lane, and we may even just see a 4-man here, Skimmy.
Yeah, Hackney looks to try and navigate this one. He needs to juggle the turret aggro beautifully. Out comes the exhaust first and foremost as Cupcake then tanks up 1, tanks up 2, switches to Gunkrab, he gets another. Olaf picks up a double kill. It's so beautifully executed.
And I don't even notice these Direwolves from the start of the split, right? You know, you could tell they were lacking confidence, but it's just such a well-executed dive, and it takes a lot of communication, right? Gunkrab, Cupcake get back to lane. They say, we have item advantage. We'll be able to build a wave up, and we'll be able to dive on that wave. Only paths towards that. Steals the blue buff for good measure. Look at the wards bot side of the map for Direwolves.
Yeah.
And that play was just inevitable. And there was ultimately nothing Violet and Aladori could do besides leave tower. But they find themselves in a hole already that they weren't willing to just, give up that easy. And sometimes you just need to give it up, Skimmy, and they didn't. So they give away 2 kills as well as what they would have had to give up before.
Yeah, they just run that side of the map, as you quite nicely highlight, right? All the vision in the world that they can make that play with confidence, and with both TPs being down, having been burnt only moments prior, there's just no counterplay that Peace can even look to try and assault them with. So, play from play, and it is the confidence, as you mentioned, right? It's just so much confidence coming out from Direwolves, and this is what we expected in week 1.
And now we're looking for a play here from Peace. Maybe they're trying to recover some losses, but Halo sees the pink ward in the bush and maybe trying to bait this one out. Ooh. I mean, that's a little bit of an ego there from Gunkrab, right? He knows Halo's there. He saw him on the pink ward, and he still opts in to juke the hook. Like, that's an ego play if I've ever seen one. That's an ego check.
Yeah, you've got emote checks, and we've got ego checks. We've got all the different checks to try and get that little edge in these games here so far, and that's exactly what Direwolves find themselves with. At the 10-minute mark, they still continue that 2K gold leads. And it'll be interesting to see where things progress from there. As Peace forced the all-in, the drive-by ult.
Yep.
Here comes Kevy. He showcases that, hey, don't forget about me. I am a Hecarim, and I can do a fair bit. And they'll hand across their AD carry with a double kill as well.
And I mean, that's pretty much a 2v2, right? I know Kevy was there to get the assist at the end there, but I mean, it's the quality of the Peace bot lane now.
For sure.
No matter how far you put them in a hole, they will be able to find that window. They'll be able to find the angle, the window of opportunity to just out-macro you. And that's all that was. That's just a beautiful hook from Aladoric, completely outplayed in the 2v2, and, a little bit criminal because, with the lead that they had, shouldn't be getting 2v2 killed like that because not only is that a 2v2 kill, Skimmy, that's a turret.
Oh, it is. That's retribution. That is the best equalizer that Peace has made all game so far, right? They guaranteed the gold. They equal up that 2K deficit. They put it all in the hands of Violet and say, sure, your Gunkrab, or I say Gunkrab, your Jinx Gunkrab is fed, but so is ours. And we're back to an even game state.
I mean, all of a sudden, I think Kaiser's up gold, if you consider the plates and the turret. Kraken Slayer picked up, so yeah, 400 gold lead now to Violet in a scenario in which I think he might have been down 1,000, like before that, even more possibly. So, I mean, Violet Aladoric just coming up big, and it was no more than just individual brilliance.
Certainly was some individual brilliance, and that's what they'll need to show to us. This is the reason why they're the second place team. That's the reason why they've only faltered once and up against the first place team in Pentanet.gg. They are the team to beat, the team that everybody's, I suppose, chasing onto to assert themselves. Are we good enough to be in that top 2 discussion? Supports are roaming. Kaiser has left their own devices in the bot side, and with Appy sniffing around too, he has flash, doesn't have a proto belt, but might be looking at an ultimate angle with the second dragon up in 30.
Yeah, looks like they're posturing for a fight. Direwolves don't look like they want to give it up, but you have to look at the item disparity in AD carries and relative strength of champions. You'd have to say, in this scenario, the Kaiser is going to be way more useful than the Jinx, but I guess you pair that with Claire on the Gnar, has the first item completed. Face check.
Face check by Aladoric is going to look to fall on down, but not if Kevy can say something about that. The ultimates get stacked on through. Maelstrom pops off, and so does the Onslaught of Shadows. They do what they can, but it's a 2-for-2 trade either way. Members are falling down. Mid and top, but both junglers die, and now that dragon becomes much less of a prospect than it was before.
And I mean, you'd have to say, all in all, probably worth for the side of Direwolves. They're the one with the health advantage. The key cooldown still being up. Jinx has been untouched, so you have to be happy if you're a Direwolf fan, especially when you're trading kills onto the likes of the Jinx, onto the likes of those key members. Victor, more importantly, picking up a kill there, as well as the wave in the bot side of the map. So, again, really thought that was a worst-case scenario for the side of Peace, but they managed to turn that one with the shockwave into the Hecarim, so...
Yeah. They certainly managed to salvage what looked like a bit of a weird and wacky, face check angle. And, Shock continued to say, well, we'll keep Halo at bay. 0-2 now. I've got myself a Darksteel up by 9 stacks. I'm a Victor. I will scale like you would not believe it. And if I'm ahead like this,
Ghost.
then we have multiple threats in multiple different angles. Speaking of Devil, and we've had a bot tier 1. Shock could be cool, but here come the cavalry. The reinforcements are there. Peace grouping up as 4. They have no ultimates. They could be very weak as a result. They've taken out Halo. He had Shockwave in just a second, but it's not enough. He's already gone. They find 2. It's Hecarim gone again. And Peace forced to fight, but then don't respect the TPs.
Yeah, the aggression of Peace, you know, sometimes it's their best strength, right? It's something that you really say this benefits Peace the most out of a roster, but sometimes it's to their demise as well. In that scenario, the aggression's just not needed, right? The neutral objectives up, they had set up, they had posture in the river, and ultimately they could have fell back to that objective, taken the dragon. Instead, they saw Shock, they wanted to kill him, thought he was in a little bit of trouble, but you have to know Shock knows his limits a little bit better than that. He would know the TP be coming on through. His teammates are close enough to collapse. Watch the hook from Cupcake onto Halo here. Absolutely just gets one shot, yeah. And it's pretty much just cleanup crew after that, isn't it?
I mean, it's pretty much as simple as that, right? The fact is they went in with a game plan. They said we can target this one. And the TPs come back to haunt them. And Cupcake continues to showcase, right, if I get this fresh, I'll find those options. I'll find those angles. I'm willing to sacrifice my life for the greater good. And that greater good has definitely been paying off big time.
And it just feels like, at the moment, the Direwolves are playing for an objective. They're setting up with something in mind. Whereas Peace is setting up with seeing nameplates in mind. And that's the key difference here. If you set up for an objective, you then talk about how you want to initiate fights, how you want to start fights, and you get vision down accordingly. At the moment, Peace is saying, okay, this guy's stepping up a little bit too far for the minion wave. We'll engage on that. Or we'll walk in here and start a fight, and it's just not working for them, right? The setup and the plan will beat the aggression, you know, 9 times out of 10. And I think Peace needs to start thinking about what they're doing a little bit more.
They do need to, as they'll be the ones looking to set themselves up and think about maybe going for a Herald play. Cross-map action happens here as we see Clear going for a side wave instead. And Aladoric actually getting caught out of trouble. Out goes the Chaos Storm, then the hook for a second. Ah, and he dies mid-animation. Unfortunate for them, it's the jungler dead again. And they start the Heralds, but only can pick it up.
Yeah, and it's just getting bigger and bigger, the gold lead, right? They managed to close the gap with one of those... Ooh. Fight in the mid lane. Shock actually kills him here with the flash if he wants it.
Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no. He'll want to forget that one in a heartbeat.
Oh. Ooh! The Jinx ulti. Just misses.
It's an ASMR channel now. It's not even a cast. We're literally ooh and ahs and
yeah, just sounds.
all the different sounds to describe the intensity of the fact that Halo pulled off the Great Escape.
Yeah, and Shock is, for me, at the moment, you know, and it's probably a little bit not the right timing to talk about this. Shock, for me, is putting on a little bit of a clinic. 12 kill participation on a champion that isn't necessarily known for an explosive early game, being the Victor. Yet, he's able to get his, you know, he's able to get a taste of the pie in the early game. And ultimately just accelerate himself. Look at the Dark Seal, 10 stacks already.
Surely that's a Magi's if I've ever seen one right now. Only might actually just look to try and solo this guy. Violet has double summoners. He can flash. He's popped the Killer Instinct so far on Filmos. He's got the Cracker Slay. Needs uptime. Ooh, gonna take him on down. It was close. One more auto. But Violet managed to run away and secure a red buff for himself too.
But this is what I talk about when I compare Peace and Direwolves. If you're going to skill check them and take the 1v1, you're probably not going to beat Peace. But if you set up and you play around your vision control, play around the neutral objectives, you're probably going to win that. In the sense that's what Direwolves have been doing this game. And there's just no need to take that 1v1 there. And Violet shows us again, if we needed any reminding, why he's one of the best AD carries in the league.
Worth noting, though, that he did actually have the burn double summoners to just survive in that situation. So if you try and extrapolate the layers of what that play might have mean, yeah, sure. A big skill check there from Violet and showcasing why he is the you know, one of the go-to AD carry figures in the region right now. But that could come back to haunt him with these next dragon fights. Oh no, he's juked! He's juked into the hook, and he falls down again. And it's the same game plan here from Direwolves. Target Halo.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a good old-fashioned timing of the summoner spells, right? You know, it's fundamentals of League of Legends. You time summoner spells and you punish accordingly. Halo obviously thinking he's safe there in the mid lane and wasn't able to do so.
That's rough. When you're juking into a skill shot, there's no better feeling, I suppose, if you're the one initiating, but what a tragic moment there as the second Herald charge goes on through. Really starts to open up these Turret options.
My apologies. I believe Halo had flash. He just tried to skill check it. He just skill
Well, that's what I
checked. Yeah, he just skill checked the flash and come out on the worst for wear. It was shocked that flash earlier in the mid lane. That's why I confused myself there a little bit. But yeah, Halo saving the flash there, losing the mid turret in the process. 4,000 gold lead to Direwolves. Neutral objective spawning. So Skimmy might be sole point here if Direwolves are able to pick this one up.
Certainly could put it into that situation. Magias is being picked up here by Shock, so looking to try and continue his run of hot form. But it isn't all doom and gloom for Peace right now. Sure, there's item advantages and gold leads at the close to 20-minute mark, but Peace still have a composition that can present such a massive wombo combo threat. Look at the TP angle coming in here from Appy. He's completely blindsiding Direwolves. They have no idea that the Maelstrom couldn't come on through. Exhaust, Maelstrom, damage to Leak, and they find the killing blows clear on the flank. It's a 1-for-1 so far. But the Direwolves, they're just too strong. They continue to hit skill shots. They continue to find angles. And they continue to pop off.
Claire is here, Skimmy. Claire is here and he's found it in the way of the Gnar. Absolutely smurfing in that team fight. His second triple kill of the game. Created so much space for Gunkrab in that team fight. You know, it looked like it was going to be such a bad team fight for the side of Direwolves. Shock falling down early. Gunkrab getting down quite low, but Claire managing to pop that mega. Killed 3 people in the front line while Gunkrab was able to just clean up on the back end. And you have to say, that was possibly best case scenario for Peace, and they weren't able to get anything off it.
100%. I mean, I'm so concerned. I'm seeing Appy on the flank right now, and I'm just expecting damage, huge numbers, and a 1v5 Violet cleanup angle here. And the fact is, we just didn't see it.
Look at Claire.
He's so
Megas
good.
on the peel, and then jumps over as well and says, oh, I'm not done yet. Lands the rock, lands the stun, throws another rock, and it's just the cleanup crew here now. Such a good team fight out of Claire, and I'm super happy to see him playing this well in this game, right? You know, we talked about, not to keep harping on it, had a rough few starts to the LCO, but this game in particular, you know, in a game in which you probably needed to step up, Skimmy, right? There's no weak links in any of these games when you're versing teams like Peace, and he's ultimately put on an absolute carry performance.
He's showcasing that, hey, I am no longer that focal point. We want to try and, you know, target the weak link. I've had my moments. I've been solo killed. I've, you know, tried to find, you know, is it a case of me playing champions that may have worked in the mid lane and bringing it up to the top side, or do I want to be a support with the Karma, for instance? And today said, you know what, enough is enough. Triple kills back-to-back on his name, 6 kills to his name as a whole, right? And he knows his job in these team fights. That was a very much Violet cleanup angle, but the Gnar ult denies everything, and moments prior, I'm starting to say, what can Peace do? They had that wombo combo angle, and that was their best moment yet.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you could just say Claire's had the full top lane experience. He's just said, you know what? I'll go for the full top lane experience. We'll start off being left on an island, be isolated, get solo killed, do the solo killing, and he's just, you know, he's had a good time. Baron started up here. There's a ward on it though, so this is questionable from the Direwolves.
He is questionable. They haven't cleared it out, and they don't look like they have any intention of clearing it out anytime soon
50-50.
right now. Kevy can look to try and 50-50 this one. Don't do it. They've stolen it! They've stolen the Baron again! What on earth is happening here in the LCO tonight? A 1-for-1 trade. Shock starts things off convincingly. Now denies many Baron buffs as possible. A piece. You just can't keep getting away with this. Is Hecarim the most broken champion in the game? I think it is. It just does so much, Juves.
I mean, they stole the Baron, but they may not have anyone live to tell the tale. Actually, Halo is safe on the back end. Now, the question here is, will Kai'Sa go down?
Oh!
Oh, he does.
Oh, it's not enough. It was literally fractions away.
Yeah. Look, optimism here. Halo still has the Baron buff. Could have been worse. Could have been Direwolves picking up that Baron. So, again, maybe a little bit of respite. Using the Baron minions to just get some farm under your belt and take a fight that's favorable to you. But, you know, Jinx is so far ahead now. Look at Shock. He has, in fact, picked up the book, and it is actually a New York Times bestseller, if you must know. 20 pages in that book. You know, some say the pages on how to play mid lane fundamentals 101. So if you're ever in a bookstore, look for that one.
Look, I can't actually wait until Shock and Swaif link up, right, for the book club. That two together, I mean, that is a book that I would definitely not put down. I would be reading that more so than playing the game. These guys are just, they're showcasing why they are, you know, best in their category, rising to the occasion. And I mean, this team fight, once again, the fact is they jump on in. Kevy secures it. A little bit earlier, it's like 66 HP.
And again, another player I want to highlight. Look at Claire here. Lands the Mega Nard, two-man into the wall. Violet can't do any damage past him, and the most fed member and the beacon of light for Peace is just completely nullified in that whole fight because of Claire. Claire's just playing goalkeeper, says, I can't kill you. I don't have enough juice in the tank to kill you, but I've got enough to keep you out. And then Claire decides just to switch targets here and says, oh, you know, Aladori? Why not?
This for me though, this got me hyped. The fact is that was so close to completing, but they managed to pick up another. As you say, only one Baron buff remains, a minute left, and it will expire just as that Soul Point Dragon spawns and is there for the taking.
And look, as much as I'm on the Direwolves hype train right now in terms of how they're executing team fights, you look at the composition of Peace, and you have to, you just hold your breath and say, okay, they have that wombo combo, right? They have the Orianna Ball onto the Hecarim, cannon flank flash. Like there's windows in where Peace can win a team fight. The problem that you have is your mid laner 0-5, right? Yeah. And you know, there might not be enough juice in that tank, if you will, to clean up the team fight. Yeah, Appy, huh?
Scry's, it doesn't reveal. Appy very, very lucky with his positioning, but there is a ward now. That'll spot him at least. Might be too little too late by that point, however. They're going to try and run it back with the same play, but I echo your same statement, right? Halo Shockwaves just aren't going to have that same impact.
No, they're not, and it could be the difference between 100 HP and, you know, not... And Appy's been caught here. Can he get to the blast cone in time? Yes, he does.
Okay, he's been zoned away. Direwolves might look to force the hand now and try and go for a 4v5. They're turning attention straight on towards Halo. He flashes away, not going to overchase that one. Ragnarok has to be used though, as Kevy pops Ghost as well, so something's being traded and Ultimate's being burnt. All in on the Soul Point Drake.
Yeah, they need to wait out the Mega Nard. There's no world in which they win this team fight versus a Mega Nard. The stats for that Mega Nard gets is just so inflated, especially when you're this far ahead. Now that their Mega Nard's exhausted, they've started to Dragon, so very good identification from Peace. Now, do they flip it? Do they risk the 50-50 smite? Appy is with the team, so it's just going to be a straight front to back, and you know it's going to be hard for Kennen to find the way in.
Claire in the pit, not Mega, so can't hit those massive ultimates right now. Bops them way out. Kennen in the backline, 1v3, gets exhausted. They take the Dragon. A Mountain Soul has been acquired here by Direwolves. Not a single member falls on down, but they'll take down 4. They leave Halo. Forget him. He does no damage. He has no impact. We'll run him down. We did it topside. It's a full 5-man flawless ace. And they can go straight through mid at the 26-minute mark and look to end.
I mean, no one falls down on the side of Direwolves, and what a team fight coming out of them, just as a collective. And there's too many players to highlight. You know, I find in games like this where everyone plays so well, what do you do? Who do you highlight? Because at the end of the day, for me, and Skimmy, I'm just going to hold that because the Hecarim goes in.
It's close. 2 members surviving. It's getting lower and lower, but they have gun crab. It's an 80 carry angle if I've ever seen one. So easy to take that one down. It's going to be GG. Direwolves find retribution for week number 1. They take down Peace and hand him their second defeat of the split.
26-minute victory for the side of Direwolves. How do you do, Skimmy? So, you know, very clean victory. And again, I can't stress this enough. The members that needed to step up for Direwolves stepped up, and for me, that's a big showing heading into playoffs, right? Who can you rely on? Who's going to be there, you know, when you need to stand your ground and dig into the trenches and get those hard-fought wins? And for Direwolves to show that sort of character after a rough few weeks, I'm super excited to see how they're going to close out this split. And maybe there's a few Pentanet players watching this game with a little bit of a, ooh, the season just got interesting.
100% right. Parbu made the call at the start of this night. Look, I want this region to level up, to get better, and we're seeing that. We've seen that on multiple occasions tonight, be it stomps or be it evolutions of teams and individuals. And Mac, I mean, what better way to sort of welcome in or usher in the second round robin?
Yeah, that was crazy. You know, I feel like, Jubes, you're going to be very happy that I ripped up the ticket just so you could get that extra prediction correct, because that was a match, man. You know, the Baron steal at the end as well. I was like, oh no, this is when Peace turned the game, and then it didn't seem to be the case. So absolutely crazy game, all things considered. I left for about like 2 minutes, and I walked back in, and there was like 5 kills, and I was just like, what? When?
Yeah,
how?
It just exploded at the 5-minute mark, actually, Max. So 5 for 5. Claire just teleported in first, right? And he was just key to influencing this fight. Gunkrab also came down, and not many 80 carries do this. Gunkrab walked down, and look how big the bot wave is that's about to crash. He valued the fight, the skirmish, and helping his team over the minions. Sometimes that can backfire, but trusted his team enough to turn that around. And that was just the beginning of the hype train for the Direwolves. And just methodical from here, Skimmy.
I mean, this showcases, right, that wasn't a fluke by any stretch of the imagination by Claire, that he is comfortable, that he continues this 100% win rate on this champion of Nah, and that he knew exactly what his job was. Play zone, play defense, and get Violet out of the equation multiple times. If you keep an eye on him in particular, his first identity, his first job is, where is Violet and what can I do to ensure that he can't try and turn this game around and, against us. So really want to highlight the fact that while Shock has been popping off and been doing it consistently, that Claire has finally found his moment to pop off and showcase that, hey, I've gone through the induction of what it's like to be a top laner, and now we're here.
Yeah, and it's
induction, I like
crazy
that.
as well. It's every time he's played Nah, it's just been so damn impressive. He's had so much impact on the game. So maybe he's finally found the champ that he needs to focus towards. I wonder if that's going to turn into some focus bans, going into the next games for the second round robin of the split. I'm worried if he gets targeted, that's when Direwolves look like they're a little bit weaker. That's what was happening really early on. But that being said, of course, he has managed to really find his feet on this Direwolves lineup.
The problem is you can't target ban Claire because, okay, best case scenario, you target ban him, he doesn't have anything left to play. But then you're leaving stuff open for the other members.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want Shock to get his comfort champions. I don't know if you want Gunkrab to get it. I don't know if you want Cupcake to get his Thresh. There's too many threats. And that's what happens when you're a good team. You can no longer be target banned. You can be banned according to the meta or banned according to what you don't want to play against, but you can never target ban an individual. And Claire's just too good mechanically. At the end of the day, at the end of the split, he'll be there ready with a few champions to play. It was just a slow build, and it's going to be a slow build. It's not all, it's done. I'm never going to have to worry about having a bad game again because ultimately it may happen, right? It happens to anyone, to everyone. But
Really does.
If you're a Direwolf fan right now, you've got to be very, very, very happy.
Yeah, of course. And look, let's hear from the horse's mouth as well about how he thinks he's done. I think we have Claire for the interview today, and that means we're bringing Nat T back from the sidelines. How'd you enjoy that one? I know we're both probably a little bit sour that we didn't get our piece prediction right, but that was such a great match.
I'm not going to lie, today was probably the hardest day I've ever had in choosing predictions. I felt really torn with almost every team or matchup that I had to pick. So for me, it was a win-win, My heart really wanted Direwolves to win, but my brain was like, you got to go Peace. And I think
that's right, you and me.
I'm pretty sure we've had 8 broadcast days and Jubes has gotten 5 100% days. But
that's ridiculous.
It is. But I do have the superstar Claire down here with me to interview. Claire, that performance was just absolutely phenomenal. You have clearly found your feet up there in the top lane. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think this game is probably the best game I've played so far. I'm definitely really comfortable in playing Nah, and I think I'm overall getting a lot better at top lane. At the start of the split, I would think I was pretty terrible. I was losing every lane. I was getting solo killed every game, but now I'm kind of learning the fundamentals and being able to express my individual player skill more. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed, if you guys are loyal fans of me or the LCO, you'll know that this is a new background. So I'm playing on my Missus' setup and it's really OP. It's the reason I won today.
So really, it was just absolutely nothing on the team or anything like that. It was just all down to what computer and where you were playing from.
It's, okay, 1, it's the champ, it's Nah. Nah's a range champ, I'm a mid laner, I'm going to do really well on a range champ. 2, yes, the setup's really good. My setup at home is pretty good too, but here, it's my girlfriend's setup, so it's the best. And then, yes, my team has been supporting me so much because, at the start of the split, I think I struggled so much and they kind of stuck with me. They always, reassured me, gave me a lot of, insurance that, that I'm going to power up, I'm going to get better. And I'm really grateful that they've kind of stuck with me and kept pushing me forward.
Oh, that's so wholesome. It's so good to hear the support that you are getting from the rest of the guys over at Direwolves. Jubes whispered in my ear that it was the girlfriend gap that won you guys the game. But
100%.
actually talk me a little bit more about the talk me through a little bit more about the game with those team fights. You guys just never really seemed to take the foot off the gas there, but it looked a little, not worrying, but interesting when Kevy got the Baron steal.
So yeah, we were pretty much winning every skirmish from the first moment. I remember the first skirmish went really well because I got like a really early recall off, and then I TP'd in with completed boots, and then I got level 6 first. And then yeah, so every fight went really well, and then the Baron, I remember we started hitting it because we saw that like we had so much vision and they weren't showing, and then we got it really low. And when it was 2k, we were just like screw it, we'll just flip the Baron because we don't really care if they steal it. If they steal it, we're gonna kill them, and the Baron's not a big deal for like us losing or winning the game. So yeah, it wasn't a big deal for us. Kevy stole it. It was like it would have been nicer to have Baron, but we didn't need it to win.
Yes, of course. I mean, look at you guys. You just absolutely stomped in that game. You guys are just really looking good. You were on the 4-win streak now, I do believe, if my memory is right. What do you guys? Yeah. I think it's 4. It is 4, right? Yeah. What else are you guys looking at doing, like in terms of preparation, and like how are you guys going to keep getting better?
We're just gonna stick to what, because like we have a lot of experienced players in the roster, so everyone knows what a good team environment looks like. So I feel like we just stick to what we know is good. Like focus on improvement. It's not all about the result, as you can see. Like at the start, we weren't too concerned that we had bad results. We just knew that as long as we find our groove, as long as we use our systems that we know works, we're gonna improve at a faster rate than these other teams.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the split plays out for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations again. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, thank you.
There you have it. So good to hear that Claire realised that he is powering up, and, thanks his whole team for enabling him, because that's really what you want.
So happy. He actually just you could just see that he was proud of his performance. And I mean, just even other games that they've won, he's been like, yeah, we won it, but like it was a game. But he just absolutely loved how he played that game, which I'm so happy for him.
For sure. Very proud of the girlfriend setup as well, I must say. He was.
Yeah.
Girlfriend buff OP, and a performance that he can be confident about, right? That was a pop-off if I've ever seen one. So, credit to him. I'm really stoked to see that he's found that form. Finally, we're here.
Speaking of form, there was one particular play that has become the play of the day. Yes, you can guess today. Thanks for asking, or I wouldn't have thrown the question out there. So we'll go, Jubes to Nat across the board. What do you think the play of the day is going to be?
I'll be honest, I got a goldfish memory.
Okay.
I'm trying to think as well.
I don't even remember who you interviewed like the last few seconds. So if I had to guess, no, I remember. I know Natty did the interview. Of course, can't forget Natty. But I would have to say the play of the day. Skimmy, start it off.
Look, I'm just going to go for recency bias and just say the TP in from old mate Claire, jumps in, gets a triple, hands across a kill to his AD carry, and says, yeah, we're here.
What about you, Nat? What's your thoughts?
All right, I reckon it is from the very first game, the Pentanet versus Mammoth, where Mammoth seems to, I'm pretty sure they took out 2 of Pentanet, or 3 of them.
The dive into the turret?
Yeah, the dive into the bottom, and they turned back and they got the ace. I reckon that's the play of the day. I'm putting my money on it.
Oh, you got yours?
I've got mine now.
You got yours.
My play of the day would have to be the time Mac ran out of the house and chased his driver down with his burrito, then got the burrito in his hand and just mauled it down and came back and was happy again. For sure, play of the day.
He was so angry in our ears as well.
Guys running away with his burrito, like trying not to give him his burrito. Of course, play of the day. Tackled him, get the burrito.
We're not even playing league, we're playing rugby.
Absolute bastard, that guy. I'm going to have to have a word to his delivery service provider. But look, you're all wrong. The play of the day was actually a Zeus with that Baron steal on 100 HP. So fast with the fingers, and the god of smites, it seems. Look at this. He got fully targeted as he tried to make his way in. And then look, Blitz even helped him. Sent him a little bit closer, and there you have it. Just running on in, hitting that smite, and it was the perfect play to get our play of the day.
I like this play a lot, actually, Juves. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that, first of all, you know, Zeus is so low when we jumps in, has
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
thrown at him, but the fact that then Safa joins the fight after being picked apart, runs straight into the pit. It's a playground for him to hit knockups, picks up a double kill and says, all right, boys, maybe this game is one for us to win.
In those scenarios too, it's very easy to panic smite. The panic smite is the biggest killer in those scenarios, right? Because you've made the decision to go in, so you may as well let it get a little bit lower. And ultimately, Azus just got it down to you know, what? I don't even know how much health, but it was low.
Yeah, I'm more looking at Azus in that play more so than the Baron, you know, and then the smite's kind of the bonus at the end. But look, that brings us to the end of the day, and it's time to have a look and recap the standings, because we need to see where everyone is after all these victories, you know. You got Pentanet still undefeated on top, and look at Direwolves up there tied in third, 5-3. They are climbing this ladder like there's no tomorrow. Order with another victory there, 4-4 as well. And you've got Legacy still 2-6. Gravitas almost snatching that victory away to separate themselves from Mammoth there. But at the moment, they are still 7th, tied with Mammoth.
I'm pretty
And
sure if... Oh, sorry. I was
No,
just
you
saying,
go,
I'm pretty
you go.
sure if Direwolves get one more win and Peace lose their next game, the standing is exactly what Rusty predicted at the start of the split before any
Really?
games were played. Yeah, it's just the Direwolves Peace swap around.
Yeah,
Big Rust Dog.
that'll
Yeah.
be pretty crazy if that actually ends up happening, you know. Tied up there and then maybe even some extras. So Peace, it looks like they really need to pull themselves together, because now they're losing to a couple of teams, not just Pentanet. And you could see that they thought that they did very well against Pentanet the other day, and they thought they did, I'm assuming they thought they did very well against Direwolves. But something I've noticed is it seems like they're getting a bit complacent, and if there's these teams with this experience, they're just punishing them for that. But look, we're not here to keep talking about games. We're here to hear from you guys at home, from the fans who've sent in some quality memes, quality content, quality questions for us. So let's bring up what we've managed to gather for you guys, or from you guys rather. And we've got the Chiefs. You see this not going to approach your lane, what you do.
I imagine that's the face Kisei also had at the same time, right? The fact that, like, oh, we're chilling, you know?
That is the Ronald face. That is the standard Ronald face.
Full poker face for that one. Legacy with, ooh, lose. Oh my.
I don't know what that...
I think I saw a Legacy Twitter post that was like, Chiefs, please end this ASAP.
Okay.
It was
This-
something along those lines, so...
This was the response to that meme from the Chiefs.
Ah.
So there you go. All right, a bit of
And
context.
they've also got ML's face as the profile picture. Which
Yeah,
is
that's
pretty
from the
brand.
interview. That's from the interview we did literally earlier. His little cheeky smile when he was talking about his memes.
Well, there you go. And now we have one more to have a quick look at as well, and it is going to be casters for the day. So another beautiful masterpiece from Davo Erlo. I honestly have no idea what I'm supposed to be. Is that some country's
I know.
flag?
I love it. It's so
What
cool.
country is that? I'm not familiar with that.
No, I'm not. Might need to get clarification, but just in case you guys didn't know, yeah, I did open up a pizza and pasta, so
Oh,
so yeah,
Are you gonna
like,
be-
for
that's
what
sick, man. Oh,
Are you
it's
gonna
what
be
it's
like-
worth, dude.
mates race
Yeah.
or what?
If we ever
The-
come see you, are you going to be hooking us up with the pizza and the pasta?
For sure. Listen, I'm a firm believer in mates rates, and I will charge you guys double for sure.
Beautiful. Just what we love to hear. Skimmy, you're looking great there, nice and white and
Yeah,
skimmed
nice
as
and
per
trim, mate.
usual.
Skim milk, you can't go wrong. Pretty in pink.
Yeah.
Living life. Living my best life.
What's
Look, if
that
you-
one on the right? I know it's
That's-
Natty, but
If you
It's just
squint,
sideline reporter.
you can see Nat hidden between everyone on the sidelines there. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
to squint
Just
real
jammed
hard.
in
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
wow,
in there somewhere.
we were very smart.
Absolutely crazy. Now let's bring up the next one and see what we've got. And it, of course, is the viewing party at GG Easy Bar. So you've got Nigel Cheats, and this one is Nigel Victus. This is Tag. And what's better than Juves lol at GG Easy Bar? Well, probably if Juves was actually there, I think you'd be having a greater time. But look,
I did
I'm
reply
sure
to that.
watching's almost as good.
I did reply to that and say, in fact, I wish I was there. But then also I thought, well, if the producer sees that and then he's thinking I'd rather be at the GG Easy Bar, I'm sacked. So I won't see you guys next week. In fact, I'll be at the GG Easy Bar where I wish I was before I got sacked.
Well, maybe you can go and have the after party there. It's only 10 p.m. The night's still young, Juves. And we do have one question coming in as well, which I believe we may all have seen. This, of course, is from the big man Pabu. And it is, can I get everyone on LCO to tell me their burrito order and favorite Mexican
my
food?
God.
and what their favorite flavored beverage is. Coffee, soft drink, whatever is acceptable. And then also whether you think I'm more like a hot drink or a cold drink. And I think he followed up asking if he was more like a some kind of normal hot, piping hot tea, or if he was more like an iced coffee with a bit of caramel in it. And mate, I feel like you're ice cold, so I'm going to go with the iced coffee on that one.
I think Pabu is more like a Milo. You wear your jammies, you get your jammies on, get your socks on, snug as a bug in a rug, and then you just you snuggle up on the couch, chuck on a movie, and there's Pabu there. And I've actually done that with Pabu, funnily enough, because we were like, he was in my gaming house once. So, I mean, that's why I know the answer.
Oh, there you go.
I think Mac, Pabu is a cappuccino because, you know, you've got this layer on the top, right? A layer of all these European memes and Twitch memes where he puts on this European accent.
Yeah.
You get past that and you realize, oh yeah, he is an Aussie after all. So
Yeah.
I think he's a cappuccino.
But I thought he was going the angle of Pabu's a cappuccino because he's a full cap.
Oh, I could have. Hey, but I wouldn't throw the boy under the bus like that.
Mans is a full cap.
It had to do him like it. What about you, Nat? What do you think Pabu is?
I could be a little bit biased here, but I reckon Pabu is a steaming cup of tea, you know? Sometimes you just want to... It's nice and comforting. You just want to relax with him. Other times, man, you tilt him the wrong way and he's going to burn you. So he's definitely a cup of tea for me.
I do think about that. But before we get in too much further into it, we didn't answer the burrito question.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to quickly run this.
Mexican.
We'll go across. Well, it's Mexican. I'm just going to say, look, burrito, barramundi burrito, you know, beans, rice, all the good stuff, bit of cheese on there, brown rice if you can, add guac, and spicy as you can make it, with a little bit of coriander on the side. I think I actually answered this one last night on another show. Anyway, going across, Jubes, you're next.
Did you say barramundi?
Yeah, barramundi, you get the fish.
Where are you from, dude?
The coast. I live on the ocean.
That's I've never heard. That's weird. Is that weird?
You never heard of fish tacos? It's
No,
just
fish
like that.
tacos, yeah, I guess so, but I don't really eat burritos because I'm on a diet. I've lost 8 kilos, but thanks for noticing. You guys never said anything about that, so
I compliment you every day, Jubes, how good you're looking.
We do.
thanks, Nat. You too. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But I don't really get the burrito because the carbs in the wrap. So I usually just get like grilled chicken, guac, and then like the beans and guac, and that's it. Like it's just trying to lose weight, no carbs.
All right, look, I need everyone to voice their opinion quickly. Skimmy, give us your speed run because the producers in my ear telling me where to speed things up.
Absolutely, mate. Chipotle chicken, the works. Put everything inside it. Make it spicy, make it clean, make it tasty. Drink probably a fruit juice. I love a little bit of OJ. Yeah, why not? Get me some of that. Maybe a Powerade. If I'm feeling a little bit groggy in the morning, why not? No dramas. And nah, mate, just give me some food and off we go.
All right, mine's not even a burrito. It's full nachos, grilled chicken with sour cream and guacamole. I like it nice and simple. That's it.
There we go.
Sounds great. Tell me what else sounds great? More LCO. So let's bring up the schedule for next week, for Tuesday. And it is going to be Legacy having the rematch against Gravitas. So another one of these games where it's like, cool, Legacy could get another win on the board, but this is also a good chance for Gravitas. 7 p.m. Order taking on Mammoth, which you think Order should win, but of course Mammoth looking better and Order not looking so hot. So who knows how that one's going to go. 8 p.m. Peace and Chiefs could be another banger matchup. And Pentanet and Direwolves, that's actually going to be sick at 9 p.m. What are your thoughts on this one, Juice?
Oh, it's a barn burner. I've got the fire extinguisher ready just in case it starts a little bit of flames here and there, you know what I mean? Because it has potential. Has the potential to just, you know, light right up. So obviously we've got to be safe with, you know, having the fire extinguisher ready and whatnot. So just be careful, guys, huh? It'll be fire smart.
That entire day, Mac, that entire day is incredibly stacked just from all the mini narratives of like skill checking to see, hey, are you a first place team or not? Who's going to look to try and put that run into 5th position for the final playoff spot? Maybe Gravitas can sneak themselves into that discussion. Juves, what is it?
What are you doing?
Dude, the meme was Mac's shirt.
Oh, because it's got the orange on the side.
Dude.
Right, well, oh, maybe it's a bit, you know, we've got the colour slightly coming off.
You need to dip down a little bit more, mate,
red.
and then we're
it is
meme
red,
complete.
unfortunate. So Dave-O calling you out on that. Maybe you're a little bit colourblind. Should probably get that checked. But that brings us to the end of the day. Finally, that was a long one. Some banger games, and it looks like we've got some more bangers on Tuesday. So, ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining me on the desk and at home. We've had a whole lot of fun here on the LCO, and we'll see you on Tuesday for much more.
14 minutes into this one, they map their assault, a 5-man squad show up in bot lane and say, this is the reason we let you have Kaiser. This is the reason we want to shut you down. Now we turn your attention on towards the support play. He chops the ultimate, he takes out 2. Oh no, Jazz gets a triple kill. Oh, it's gone from so much bad to worse. It looks so good from MF there. But when the cavalry arrive, Jazz gets a quad. Now he's 5-0.
Certainly might see a counter gank right now as Liv will have that Afterlife form if so desired. Now they're trying to bait their time here with a flash. Looking to try and juggle around the arrow. Oh no! Sybil's dead! And Winter Mage has fallen down there. Oh, it's an absolute disaster. They've the double bait. Are we fighting? Yes, we are! Oh, Pixel perfect. He hits the Paranoia as the Lantern goes out. Goes for a roam from mid to bot. And then takes out Sybil. He tried to proc the Lullaby. The Lullaby gets cancelled. Animation went out, but it doesn't seem to matter. Featherstorm is there. He can't bring back the feathers. The recall is unsuccessful. 1 kill into 2. Snap back and get 3. Beautiful stun there from Chung. He can't hit R2 and call it a Forge God. And then they steal away the Herald. Vengeance runs in with the flash, but he can't flash out. So he'll fall on down. The Herald is being denied. Gravitas' positioning is just in. He needs to be here. Hecarim stuns. Hecarim looking for a flanking angle. Oh! Hits the smite steal. Oh no, Azus has done it. TP's in, finds a kill, deletes Vengeance now looking to try and wipe as many members as possible. Azus the hero. Exhaust, Maelstrom, damage, delete. Can they find the killing blows clear? On the flank, it's a 1-for-1 so far. But the Direwolves, they're just too strong. They continue to hit skill shots. They continue to find angles. And they continue to pop off.
You know, it's going to be hard for Kennen to find the way in.
Clear in the pit, not Mega, so can't hit those massive ultimates right now. Box them way out. Kennen in the backline, 1v3 gets exhausted. They take